Wait, mate, I'm sorry for missing my upload again. I can just fall back on being sick, but to be honest, it was because I was too lazy to go make one, and therefore I felt bad. And week review. Okay, will we still need masks in 2022? Biden is in hot water for two things, and also Coca-Cola wants its employees to be less white. Welcome to Idiot News Network, INN. So, have you been thinking that, well, I just really want to continue to wear masks? I mean, my top of the face, just outstanding. Bottom of the face, I need a chiropractor. Yes, that's how bad the bottom of my face is. So, you might be hoping, let's keep wearing masks. So, if so, you have good news. CNN. On CNN, Dr. Anthony Fauci said some interesting things. He said Americans will still need to wear masks in 2022, even if the cases are almost zero. This is also despite him agreeing with President Joe Biden that we will be reaching a degree of normality. Dr. Fauci said, if you see levels coming down very low, I want it to keep going down to a baseline so that there's virtually no threat. It will never be zero, but a minimal threat. So, just like limbo, how low can you go? Speaking of purgatory, it's Biden Part 1. Syria. This week, Biden took his first military action. And people said he wouldn't start a war. It's not even 100 days. So, the groups that Biden has airstrikes are, militant militias that are backed by Iran. Congrats. You know what they say? You're not president until you start a new war. And according to the, press secretary of the Pentagon, these strikes were authorized in response to recent attacks against American and coalition personnel in Iraq and ongoing threats to those personnel. And the press secretary said the American retaliation was meant to punish the perpetrators of the rocket attack, but not escalate not to escalate with Iran. Good luck with that. Let's go back to the pandemic. Now, one of the biggest issues with the pandemic is how to reopen schools. Now, certain cities that I'm going to mention later haven't and don't have a plan. But Dr. Fauci seems optimistic.
Guidelines, I think it will go a long way to be able to get the children back to school in the safest way as you possibly can. But
San Francisco has come under fire for the plan to reopen their schools, which until recently, like today or yesterday, was nothing. Okay, that's the good stuff. That's the really great Gatorade. But instead, the local school board has been focused on its plan to rename schools. I'm gonna need another shot of Gatorade. Just let me pour it. Okay. And more specifically, to rename schools that are named after problematic people, like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And the mayor of San Francisco supports the renaming of these schools, but is frustrated with the school board for their non-existent plan to go reopen schools, and the fact that renaming schools took priority of opening schools. The mayor of San Francisco said, "What I cannot understand is why the school board is advancing a plan to have all these schools renamed by April when there isn't a plan to have our kids back in the classroom by then." Ugh. Also, getting the schools open wasn't even on in the agenda of the most recent, I'm pretty sure, school board meeting. But calm down. Why would we want our kids to attend Abraham Lincoln High School or something like that? I mean, he's such a problematic figure, which is why they should be attending instead of Abraham Lincoln High School. John Wilkes Booth did nothing wrong high school. Luckily, they paused the renaming to focus on the opening. Then they'll rename. But we should just stop naming buildings after people. I mean, nobody's ever going to be perfect. You know what it is, though? Dessert. Apple fritter community college, peach cobbler elementary, chocolate milkshake national dog park. Oh, assistant. Oh, chocolate's not good for dogs. Oh, well, vanilla milkshake national park. Oh, that's racist now. Yeah, apparently vanilla milkshakes are racist. So yeah, vanilla ice cream is racist. The Guardian says black people were denied vanilla ice cream. The Jim Crow South. Exception on Independent Day. And then they have a black and white photo of presumably a black person eating vanilla ice cream. Okay. Now, one of the people who's not having trouble opening facilities for children is President Joe Biden. Ooh, the first migrant facility for children opens under Biden. This is by the Washington Post, not me. The first teens arrived to Carrizo Springs, Texas. Biden and the entire Democratic Party criticized Trump's use of holding facilities. Yeah, Kamala Harris said Trump has pushed policies that have been about pushing babies in cages at the border. She also called the detainment centers a human rights abuse. Oh God. And the detention facility was built under Trump, or at least was managed under Trump. Look, it has to do with Trump. That's all you need to know. But Biden reopening raised some questions. So, Press Secretary Jen Psaki, I don't care, got some questions about it. So Jen Psaki says it's not being kids kept in cages. It's a temporary reopening during the COVID-19 pandemic, and that the administration intent is to very much close it. I feel something coming. Oh God. But we want to ensure that we can follow COVID protocols as accepted, as un as as uncomplied minors, or Jesus, I can't speak. As unaccompanied, I can't speak, minors come into the United States. So the rationale is that we can't send them back. That would be immoral. But we can't have them not social distance. Yeah. But to be fair, Jen Psaki's right. It has bunk beds in classrooms exactly like it did in the Trump administration. So yeah. The kids in cages thing happens. Kids only stay there for a maximum, not minimum, maximum of 72 hours. And yes, Obama did do this, and same did Trump. They're temporary housing, and they're at border processing centers. Still, it's been met with backlash. Ocasio-Cortez says this is not okay. It's never been okay. Never will it be okay, no matter the administrational party. And that's all she said about it. No photo shoot, no. These are literally concentration camps. No, none of that. Just, this is not okay. It's like your old aunt saying, Gerald, get out of your room. Fetch me the red wine. Good news, though. The San Francisco School Board can have a basis of how to reopen schools while renaming it. Another thing that Trump and Biden disagree with: genocide. Pressure's mounting for Biden to call the massacre of Uyghur Muslims in China a genocide, which Trump did. Biden, in his campaign, not president, referred to it as a genocide. Now Biden says it's cultural differences, and the Biden administration is reviewing that label. Some claim that Biden defended his genocide. But Biden isn't the only North American leader struggling with genocide. The Canadian Parliament, I guess, voted that China is definitely doing the genocide, but Trudeau abstained and said, when it comes to the application of the very specific word genocide, we simply need to ensure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed before a determination like that is made. If it makes a noise like a duck, it swims like a duck, it puts ethnic minorities in concentration camps like a duck, you've got a bowl of concentration camp soup, sponsored by Campbell's. It's not. This issue should be as black and white as Justin Trudeau's face at a costume party. U.S. Customs inspectors find 20 kilograms of cocaine-coated cornflakes in Idaho. Cocaine-coated cornflakes. That was actually my first attempt. Speaking about Coke. Coca-Cola and white privilege have met, probably again. Coca-Cola staff told in an online training Coca-Cola staff were told in an online training center, try to be less white. Thanks Fox News. That article, the headline sucks. By an anonymous employee who works at Coca-Cola. The tips to be less white are to be less oppressive, less arrogant, less certain, be less. What? Why would you want to be less certain? Be less ignorant, be less defensive, be more humble, listen, believe, break with apathy, break with white solidarity. I know Coca-Cola has. And the person who actually wrote it, who wrote a book called White Fragility, says the entire thing was taken out of context, and it's very, very, very murky. But if Coca-Cola wants to be less white, they should replace their bears with grizzly bears. It's a lot less polarizing. And remember, don't be a YouTuber. And this ends the segment for INN, Idiot News Network. Bye.